Cool. Welcome back. This is Noah Judson. This is the game dev diary for Bugging Out, game I've been working on. It'll be my first game that I actually publish. Um, and I wanted to share with you my experience in that and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this is 5 weeks in. So it's 1 week after the last video I did. And I just kind of wanted to share, what I've learned, changes I've made since the last one. And yeah, so since I don't have a marketing department, these videos are basically the extent of my marketing until I figure that out. Um, so again, you kill a few enemies, you get upgrades. It chooses 3 random upgrades, and you get to select one. And all the upgrades stack exponentially. So if I get like less damage to you once, or sorry, if I get it 3 times, that's not like some multiplier times 3. It's a multiplier times a multiplier times a multiplier. So it's exponential. Um, so any upgrades you get, you kind of want to get the same upgrades over and over because they stack exponentially. And speaking of stack, one of the things I did, you can see my character blink in red. Now he stopped. He was poisoned. One of the things I did this week was put in poison and slow, and they both have stacks. So the more times you hit an enemy, the more stacks they'll have. And the more stacks, the more the effect will present itself. Um, let's see, spread shots, these have been in since the beginning. Everything still looks, very not very good at all. And that's because it's all programmer graphics still. I want to focus on getting things like the movement, which is something else I spent a lot of time on this week. Physics, just math of everything, really solid before even attempting to spend time on the art. The wave, this is a new one I put in this week. This was actually pretty tricky. It's basically a sine wave, but then what is the mathematical equation to rotate a sine wave at any angle? That was actually really, I spent too much time on that probably for how useful it is. Um, but I eventually figured it out, and yeah, it looks all right. I'll probably have to fine tune the wave a little bit. But it basically does what I want it to do, which is just wiggle back and forth across the line that it's supposed to be going along. It gives you a little bit more of a chance to actually hit the target you're trying to hit. Another thing I just did today was I tightened the movement of the main player. It was a little, let's say, drifty before. I would, move and then keep moving for a little bit, especially because I changed the physics for movement. I looked up some real equations for drag through the air and found out that air resistance scales with the velocity squared. I didn't realize it was the velocity squared. And so that changed. All the enemies use the new physics now. I am experiencing some issues with when the drag is very high. So basically with physics, if you're accelerating, say you're falling, say you're accelerating through the air, you hit a terminal velocity. When the drag multiplied by velocity squared offsets any continued acceleration. But in my game, when things are going, when the drag is very high or the player is moving very fast, that reduction of the velocity is extremely large and actually sends the player to the other side of the screen. Or he gets like this little jiggly movement. And I can't figure out how to get around that without basically reducing delta t, the time variable, Right now it's at 60 frames a second. If I, you know, had an infinite amount of frames per second, I think the equations would work. But because they're limited to 60, um, it tries to, you know, fix things that happened within a 60th of a second, and it's like an overcorrection. I'm probably losing you talking about weird things. I also put in poison. So now I can stack some poison on a guy and he'll get continuously hurt like that. I got some upgrades to do. Let me do these. It's hard to play a game and talk at the same time. Let's see. Self-heal more often. Did I show you, was this in last time? I don't, I might do that later. Slower shot speed is good if you have penetration on your shots, because then the bullet spends a lot of time in the enemy and will hit them multiple times. I'm going to do self-heal more often because my biggest problem is I eventually die, and so I'm going to try to not die, even though it's basically impossible with how things are set up in this game. I rebalanced the game today to make it the progression a little bit slower. Felt like things were happening a little bit too fast. You'd get upgrades like every couple seconds, which is just probably a little bit too fast. Let's see. I still have all these to do. Better rate of fire is a really good one. Let's see. Part of the movement physics that I changed is I made the movement a lot more bug-like. So the start and stop speed is, or time is very short, and so they can just zip across the screen. And if I put this on, it's probably really going to be noticeable, especially if I also select the one that reduces the air drag for my body. More flight drag. I would want less flight drag. Although, since I just took more flight acceleration, yeah, so this just kind of gave me more tighter controls in general. Even though what I had before was pretty decent, this just tightened it up to increase my acceleration and drag a little bit. If you increase acceleration too much without increasing the drag, he just gets too zippy. Alright, so we're already at our first boss, which seems like way too soon. I probably need to rebalance things again. But let's go with a bigger shot. This is the Queen Bee. So some of his effects you won't quite see because he's not strong enough or not at a high enough wave. Mostly to do with how certain things of his shatter. These little bees that come out in groups of 12 and all dive at you with their stingers, they can kill you real fast if you don't watch out for them. This is where the trait more physical strength or something like that would help, because hitting things head on, it reduces damage you take, it increases damage that you give to them. Also reduces how far you push back and increases how far they're pushed back. So I'm doing pretty well on this guy. Oh, that's a wave of honey. I'll try to show you if... Oh, yeah, I accidentally showed you. If you hit a wave of honey, you get a bunch of stacks of slow, which slows you down a lot. I don't want to be hurt by you. So he's got a swarm of bees around him. I'm going to have to take care of that swarm. He is actually healing with that honey. I don't get damaged by it. Just thinking about making enemies shots a slightly different color, maybe like red and blue or something, just so it's easier to differentiate between their shots and your shots. That wasn't very good. Let's try this again. Hi, I'm Noah Judson. This is my video game I'm working on. This is my marketing program. This is where I play my game and talk about it and bore you to tears, until you skip ahead in the video and see all the fancy effects that I can do. Like this. Watch this. Ooh. 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 Wait. Wait for it. Ooh. I have all the cheat codes. And let's do, boom. That's pretty cool, huh? The reason it's straight right around me is for the first 10 frames, the wave effect, the way it works is it takes the sine wave and adds it to the position it would normally be at. And say 0, 0 is right at the middle. The sine wave would offset the initial point a little bit, and that initial point would wobble back and forth. And I didn't really like that, so I said for the first 10 frames, scale from 0 to, I probably need to scale linearly and not exponentially, but scale to the wave position. At 0, start it, have no wave, and at 10, have a wave effect of 1.0. And so that'll probably get fixed, but that's kind of cool, right? I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Ooh, now it's getting cool. Let's see. Ooh. So what am I doing? I'm adjusting the rate of fire and the wave effect. Now I really like that one. Let's increase the wave again. And now let's do the rate of fire a couple times. Okay, well, looks like we've maxed out at what the effect will kind of look like. So, let's add shatter. I kind of want to make a boss with something like this. I would add more shots, but this would make it rotate, which would be kind of cool. Let's try that. Ooh. See, the thing I like about my game is that all of the effects stack. There's that word stack again. They stack in interesting ways for a nearly infinite amount of possibilities. When I say nearly infinite, it's nowhere near infinite, but it is probably in the millions. So let's go to, oh yeah, let's see, shatter. Yeah, I would like some shatter, please. So once I get strong enough, they'll start shattering at the end, and bursting into like 2 or 3 shots, 2 to start. And so let's see. But I have to get that strong. So maybe a little bit slower shot speed. What will that look like? That just hardly changed it at all. So I need something that just makes me do more damage. The reason it's not shattering right now is because I'm not doing enough damage. I put a little threshold on that because I was filling the screen with too many projectiles, causing too much slowdown. See the wisps right here? There's like 384 shots on the screen. I call them wisps. Because that's what my nephew and I agreed we would make as a theme. Dragonflies, wisps, and masks. I still haven't figured out masks. Other than shader masks, which I use to convert everything to white and black. That's kind of cool. I hope that one of the things people will like about my game is just finding cool patterns and playing around with it. At least I like to do that. More damage. No shatters though. Let's do, let's absorb more and have a smaller body, and we'll explode at the end if it hits an enemy. I don't really want to add straight shots or spread shots just because that takes away from the effect going around my body. Let's let's see what that does. So faster, and I don't want mosquitoes because they just cause chaos. Okay, so it's a little bigger now with the faster shot speed. Wow, come into my circle of death. Unless, of course, you're the same color as me. Oh, they're shattering. So what's happening is it's, see that ring? It starts like that, and then it gets to the end, and everything shatters at 90 degrees to where it's at, which causes a ring around it. Now, if I do one that says shatter into more pieces or something like that, not that one, this would make everything shatter again, which we wouldn't see that for a while. I have to get a lot stronger, and that's why it like exponentially increases the number of projectiles on the screen. I've been thinking about rewriting this game for a different game engine to make it more efficient. I still might do that, just so I can have more bullets on the screen. But it is pretty chaotic, and I don't think it adds anything to the game, so maybe I won't. Let's do some chain lightning, just because we have to pick something. I don't really want to make Wisp wave. Put the drag up, put the drag down. Let's make it even bigger. So now the drag that the Wisps experience is less, and so they go further. One of the ideas that my mom had was I should have icons for the power-ups instead of words so that little kids can read and select them. But things like differentiating drag and just demolish that boss because I'm way OP right now, overpowered. Things like differentiating drag and speed, like shot speed versus shot drag. I don't know. I just feel like that would be hard to make an icon for, but maybe it's not. Maybe I just don't see it yet. Physically stronger, sure. Bigger enemies, sure. So he's still a regular enemy. It's not till the next wave will they'll be bigger. You'll notice. Now they should be bigger. A little bit. It stacks, like I said. More damage. See, the shatter doesn't really make it. It kind of causes chaos, or at least that's what I feel like, especially when combined with the wave. Let's hasten time. Kind of change the effect of my shots a little bit. I like the swirly. It's like a swirl in a swirl. I'm really looking for shatter splits into more, but I'm not seeing it. I have too many upgrades. I'm just kidding. I don't have too many, but I do have a lot. I probably have at least 30 different upgrades now. I probably added 6 to 8 this week. Yeah. Let's see. Bigger explosives, stronger lightning. Yeah. I've been thinking about game modes too. I think my game might have several different game modes, this being one of them. Another one being kind of like a campaign where you don't get to randomly select your upgrades, they're kind of selected for you. I would do that basically when I make the game. And then you unlock upgrades through that maybe. Another game mode where you get to select like your first 5 upgrades. So that you can kind of customize your build. You know, maybe you want like crazy waves, but getting 5 wave shots in a game is pretty rare. But if you start out with 5 waves, then that would allow you to try different things like that. I really need a button for specifically things shatter into more pieces. You know what? I think I do. Hold on. I have many cheat codes. I have about as many cheat codes as there are keys on the keyboard because I'm having a hard time finding new keys for new cheat codes. So shatter is 6. All I have to do is press 6. Boom. So things are shattering in 3 directions now. You can see I've got over 1,000 projectiles. Once I hit about 2,000, I start experiencing slowdown. So it's 3 directions. So, each at, what is it, 60 degrees. And so you see a lot of them going outwards as well. Let's just do it again and just see what happens. All shattering stopped. And there it is again. Not really sure what happened there. I think there is a little bug in the code there. And that it's because of the threshold. I think that threshold kicked in and then it kicked out. I'm not sure why. So things are shattering maybe multiple times. I'm up to 1,360, sometimes 1,400 projectiles on the screen at once, and it's still running pretty good. But like I said, and it's having to do collision detection for each one of those, and like lots of sine and cosine for all the waving. Shoom. Sometimes that's cool just to press the button once and see the kind of effects that it makes. Spiders are a new enemy I did. See that beautiful web I drew? It took me like all of 5 minutes, which seems like a long time for that. Butterfly is still beautiful. If you hit a butterfly shot, okay, so if you get stuck in a web, it traps you. Spiders slow and poison you a lot. Let's see, what else did I change? I just fill the screen with bullets now. Yum, 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 yum. I kind of want to start over because this is just ridiculous. I don't wonder what else I could do to superpower myself. I have been working on a spider boss. He's a giant spider. His head is over here, and he's got 2 long legs on the screen, and he hits you with those. And that's about as far as I am with him so far. In order to implement him, I wanted slow and poison, so I had to put those in, and then I had to put that into the game. So, oh, that was a new bug I just killed. He's one that I found in my house, and he got in the game. He's basically, I've seen him called a scorpion cockroach, but I've also seen him called a water bug. So I like to think of him as not a cockroach, just because people think cockroaches are gross, and I don't want somebody to think that a certain bug in the game is gross. I kind of have gained a lot of respect for bugs while making this game, just because I've looked at them a lot more closely and realized they're pretty cool. Dragonflies, I watched a video, like a half-hour video on dragonflies the other day, and didn't even realize they're basically like a different bug that lives in the water for the first like part of their life. Kind of like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. This water bug turns into a dragonfly. When I say water bug, I don't mean the water bug new enemy. I mean this bug in the water that dragonflies are before they turn into a dragonfly. So spiders, watch, when you get close to them, their legs squirm. Meep! Meep! They're poisoned. I don't want to die, so I'm not going to go get hit by them. But basically, you just have to get close to them. They're drifting off of their webs. It's a bug I have to fix. I want to just get this, you see that chain lightning? I just wanted to get this video out because I just realized it was Friday. I've been like working at my computer straight for like 3 days. Um, like almost nothing else entirely. And I totally forgot what day it was. And so I realized it was Friday. I was like, oh crap, I wanted to do a video on Friday. So here we are, even though bugs and all. Alright, give me one of the new enemies. I want to see a new enemy besides the spider. They're pretty cool. So they have like a little bit of a shotgun-like effect. When they get close, they go like this, pew. And if you're close, like traps, that actually hurts you a lot. And it like slows you and it poisons you. So spiders are very dangerous. Okay, there's the water bug. He's like a cockroach, but think of him as like really beefy arms. Two of them got into my house in the last couple weeks. There's two of them. And they're like they're like a giant cockroach. By giant, I just mean like a fairly large cockroach with really beefy and a little bit hairy arms. And I think that's why they're called scorpion roaches, is because their front arms are beefy like a scorpion's claws. They're not actually claws, but they are beefy, and I still don't want to touch it with my hands, even though it's been dead for a week. Um, but he is they're kind of scary, but I guess, you know, just being they're called a water bug. That makes them sound not so scary. So in this game, they are like tank enemies. They're slow moving, heavy hitting, and they have a lot of health. I kind of want to, since seeing these guys, one way to kill them is get up close because their shot goes around you. Um, and I kind of have been thinking maybe the enemies right now, they only have one attack. Maybe they need 2 attacks or 3 attacks each. Like my bosses have like 10 attacks. Shouldn't my enemies have more than 1 attack? Should they be so simple to always just be doing one thing? And maybe, I don't know. Bugs are pretty simple, I think, but let's see how fast I can kill this guy. Oh, I wonder. Oh, see, my bombs even wave since I have wave on. Kind of cool. Let's just cheese this guy. I do really like how the moth mine turned out and all his effects. I've come up with a lot more cool effects like this to put in, but I'm saving them for other bosses now. Basically, if my character can create it, their character can create it. And sometimes I create something with a boss, and I'm like, whoa, that would be cool if the character could do that. And that's kind of what happened. I made the moth mind, and then I was like, well, I kind of want to be able to shoot in all directions like that. And so I put in radial shots. And right now I have 7 radial shots that rotate. Um, he has many more than that, and he's kind of doing multiple things at once. And yeah, actually I have to concentrate a little bit, otherwise this guy could kill me. So how easy is this guy without my cheat mode on? He is not easy. He is in fact pretty difficult. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the bosses unlock abilities, like the Moth Mine would unlock that radial shot. The Spider boss would unlock either slow or poison. The bee unlocks... What does the bee unlock? Shatter. The bee unlocks Shatter. Because the bee has a cool attack where it shoots six things at once, radially, and then those 6 things turn into 6 things, and then those 6 things turn into 6 things. And so it creates a pretty cool pattern. All kind of the idea is the honeycomb. So let's see. What else can we do? We could do more penetration. Sure, why not? Better rate of fire. I already have that. I already have like crazy rate of fire. Yeah, we'll poison. We'll split into more. Nah. I want it to rotate faster. Let's do Swiss wave. No. They retain better, so like there's only a percentage chance that it'll shatter, and each shatter has a percentage chance of actually popping into existence, and so that retains better, increases that. Bigger explosives, stronger explosives, yeah, it doesn't really matter. What am I looking for? I'm looking for rotate, causing some slowdown at 1500 wisps. The birds have a cool new effect. They're like bombers now. They come on the screen and just start releasing these wisps that just bomb, and it looks like they're just fly like a bombing plane and just bombing everything below them. Um, Wisp drag up. Let's just see what that does. Um, we will resist poison. Actually, let's just do this again. Well, this took a lot of the cool effect away. Adding the wisp drag. Probably just because there's too many things too close to each other. The wisp kind of look like bugs in themselves. So, anyway, I just did this video to kind of show my progress. And things are going pretty well. I'm going slightly mad, but it's going well. Let's just see what happens when I increase wisp drag like crazy. And make shots last longer. Ooh, that's kind of cool. A lot of slowdown though. See, I'm at 3,000 wisps. Um, I think that with a different game engine using a faster language like C++, I could get that up to like 10,000 wisps. I don't know that it's needed though. And the reason I want to stick with the current engine I have, GameMaker Studio, is because it makes releasing games to all the different platforms very easy, apparently. Probably the easiest of uh, the ones that I'm considering. I'm not considering Unity for some reason, or Epic. Both of them basically, ooh, what kind of cool things can I do? Both of them will take royalties. And GameMaker Studio is just a one-time license purchase. If I want to release to all platforms, it's like $1,500. I might purchase like just the PC at first, see if this thing sells at all. If it doesn't, I won't buy every other package. But if it does sell, then I'll probably get the $1,500 package. It lets me publish this on Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile devices. I think this might even work on mobile devices because it's, well, I don't know. Probably speaking too soon, but maybe. See, the thing about projectiles on the screen is I have like a fairly high-powered computer running this right now. And if it starts slowing down at, 1500 projectiles, what's it going to do on the Nintendo Switch? Or if I do release it on like a mobile device that has significantly less power than my my GPU, my graphics card. And so will it only show like 500 projectiles before slowdown? I don't know. So maybe then writing it in a different language, different engine would be better. All right, so this is just a kind of a mess of shots. Kind of looks like Monet, doesn't it? Sometimes I think that if I had bigger shots, put bigger enemies. Homing, you can see what homing looks like when there are um, a lot of wavy wisps. It'll probably slow it down even more. It kind of reduces the number of wisps that can be on the screen before slowdown because they're doing a lot of calculations to figure out how to track, and each one has to do it. I'll probably separate the game into an invisible grid, and if each wisp is in that grid slot, it has the calculation already set for it. A little algorithm technique called memoization. Let's see. Doesn't matter. So tracking is on now, I think. So let's cause slowdown with 3,000 wisps, and then shoom. So it's light tracking right now. It's basically level 1 tracking, so it's not very good at tracking, but it is doing something. Usually like level 3 is pretty solid tracking. Let me find the magic button for it. I think it's Y, but I just want to make sure for tracking and see what it looks like with more. Yeah, it's Y. Y. Oh no, I'm stuck. I might die. Um. Let's increase tracking a few more times. Now, if the wisp lasted longer, they would all hit that guy. So now I'm just like a whirlpool of tracking shots. And I'm gonna die. I'm dead. Let's see, what other cool things can I do? I kind of wanted to play around with. So this thing is kind of cool, right? I like it. Oh yeah, a new design for those mines. Took me 3 minutes. Let's see. Get some waving. Get some. Okay. What did I want to do? Isn't that cool? That's one of my favorites is right there. It's like a DNA strand, but instead of 2, like, parts of it, it's got 3. And they're all just like rotating on each other. And then it becomes like a fork. I need to increase my rate of fire, I think, to see it any better. Nope, that didn't do it. Well, let's just go crazy with things. So now my wave is at like way too high, and it's creating this kind of like Star of David like shape. What else can I do? I don't know, let's just push buttons and see what kind of effects I can create. I think, let's restart this. I'm probably done. I don't know if I want to keep, let me just look at my code real quick to see if there's anything. Size, push X. Oh yeah, to push control for a lot of things. That's why you're not seeing it. Let's do waves and poison and mines. So MMM 999 888. All right. So in this one, I have extremely potent mines. It looks like the explosion takes the whole screen. I pushed it a lot of times because I wasn't seeing any changes. See, isn't that cool when it explodes? You get the wave effect, circular. All right, bigger shots. Yeah, that's what I was looking for earlier. So my shots provide poison. Let's increase the wave a little bit more. With the wave, I can't quite settle on a frequency and an amplitude, especially because the shots slow down. Oh yeah, let's make the shots slow less because that makes the wave looks better, I think. So shot slow, shot drag, Control Z. Telling you all my cheat codes. Okay, so now my shots shouldn't have any more drag at all. Let's see what this looks like with this again. I do have some fine tuning on the waves to do for sure. See, that's like a DNA strand. Did I show you this effect? This is just your Igruga attack. Get 'em! Release a bunch of tracking, guys. That's the white bar at the bottom. Okay, I think I'm done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.